brothers and sisters of the planet who have gathered here. It is a great opportunity given to us on this sacred path of this planet. Today's subject is the future of humanity and the role of the United Nations. There are two aspects. The future of humanity depends upon the present behavior of humanity as it is true at any time. And our behavior in the present decides the future which we are going to have. Behavior is of two types, individual and group behavior. Individual behavior is made individually by each of us, and it is our duty to make ourselves fit to have a group behavior in one group, so that groups may gather into bigger groups and all the groups may gather into one group called humanity. In between, we have the steps for our preparation, and the steps are the national values and the international values. From the step of the national values, we are to take the next step of the international values. This gives a training through 3 steps. The humanity as a whole has been conceived for the first time here in Geneva when the League of Nations was started. And it was the first nucleus for the all positive idea of humanity through age. Now, we are in a peculiar condition when we consider our condition internationally. There is much activity going on the planet, individually and on the group level also. But the individual activity is yet to find its fitness in the group activity of this world. That is what we call the political and the economic problem of the world. We call it political, we can call it economical. But the thing to be transpired is the action of the individual to make himself fit to be in the group, so that the group may be one individual on this earth. The evolution of this planet gave us each a body, a mind and senses, and each of us began to think of ourselves separately from others. And this is the beginning of the approach. It is for us to take the opportunity of the steps of the evolution offered to us by nature and expand the consciousness from the barriers of the body into the relationships of the domestic level, and then the social level, and then to the national level, and then to the international level. Here, spiritualism helps us a lot, just as all the other branches of learning help us. To form a nucleus of human consciousness is more sacred than anything else, and it is a great opportunity given to us in the name of the United Nations. Often, human beings seek opportunities, and opportunities are rarely given. But when once such a great opportunity as the United Nations is given, it is for the individual to consider and seize the opportunity to expand himself into the universal values of humanity. Now we have created many steps to reach the goal. These steps are multiplied by the individual differences and the modes of thought. Each individual remembers his identity, and he is expected to take the steps that lead to the identification consciousness of mankind. Humanity at present has grown intellectually to the fullest extent. The dimension of goodwill is to be developed, and it has taken its step, and it made its beginning when the great leaders thought on an international level and established such a body as the United Nations. Now, whenever we think of an idea like the United Nations, we have a spur to expand into the universality of the planetary activity. This is our duty as the members of the humanity of this earth. Each of us remember ourselves as belonging to a nation, a race, a country, a political party, and a religion. But the more we remember that we belong to the human nation, we have all the other layers as the parts of our constitution. The institution of the universe admits the constitution of all the parts when the whole is remembered. When the whole works as a personality, the parts work as the limbs, that are the implements of the whole. This is the training we have to get, and every one of us should be trained by himself and herself to achieve this end. There are two ways of looking at things according to the human values. One is, everyone is in his body. Every human being is having his own body. The other thing is, everyone is in humanity, and humanity has all these bodies. These two ideas form the components of one total idea. That is, everyone living in one body and all bodies living in one person. This is the meditation that was given by the ancients of all nations, so that the individuals may develop and prove their fitness into the group. And a consciousness named group consciousness is given to us, and we are asked to develop ourselves into the group consciousness from the individual consciousness through the consciousness of our personality. And it is like the growth of an infant into a full-grown adult. It is natural when we permit the growth naturally. But when we do make our own creations of thought patterns that are sometimes detrimental to the growth, then the growth is obstructed sometimes. Now the nations look to the goodwill and the united action of the international ideology taken as a total unit. First of all, when the people of each nation are trained to think into the fitness of all the other nations. When such a training is conceived by an individual or a group of individuals, then the nucleus will gain its speed. For example, it remains the pious duty of the United Nations to establish a land where people from any nation can come and join and lose the identity of their previous nationality. People may be invited into a land from all nations, all countries, and all religions and all parties, and there may be a call, a challenge to come as human beings and enter into the territory of the new land. Anyone from any land may be admitted into the new land, and there should be a constitution in the new land according to the self-sufficient idea of socio-economic basis on spiritual way of living. The values should be spiritual, that means universal, according to the needs of each individual. You can very easily conceive the needs of an individual when you consider your own needs. This is what the great people say and what the scriptures say. It's not very difficult to know the average needs of an individual, and if some intellectuals contribute their thought and put together their thought to make an average of the human needs, and then make an average of the program and the epitome of the work that should be given, they can form the basis as human values and human needs as different from the human desires. If we can differentiate needs and desires and care only for the needs, and when there is an offering and a spirit of cooperation and coordination, people can be invited into such a territory as this to come and dwell as the citizens of such a new land. Unless some people like you gather at a place and offer such a territory, the nucleus will not expand. The incentive should be from a place which does not belong to any nation or any race or any religion or any political party existing. And people should be allowed to enter it provided they leave off their identity outside and enter into the new land. If such an experiment can be done, and if a proper symbiosis can be established by expert minds, a symbiosis between the plant and man, between the animal and man, and between the plant and the animal by man, such a formula can be very easily conceived that man serves the plant and man is nourished by the plant. Man serves the animal, man is nourished by the animal, and the animal is nourished by the plant. When such a triangle is established by the people who frame the constitution of such a land, imaginary it may appear, and if a few people are going to sacrifice the previous identity which they have and enter into the new land, that gives an impetus and an impulse to the remaining parts of the humanity, where all the other nations are living. The other nations need not be touched at any point. They may have their own likings and their own devoted ideas towards their own age-old customs, habits, beliefs and understandings. They need not be touched at all, but when once people begin to understand the idea of international life on human values, then they will be having the incentive to visit, to find out how things go, and to try to imitate and engraft the same type of life in their own area. Let it be a very small unit at first. Such small units begin to live in various places in accordance with the interest they sustain after coming and seeing and living with you here. Such a nucleus is to be formed, and the establishment of the nucleus should be definitely a matter of great sacrifice of their land, their nation, their career, and what they have constructed in their mental level about themselves. But this sacrifice is only sacrifice of the mental castle and nothing else. Without sacrifice, there is no realization or no achievement. That is proved in the history of mankind in the past. And now that we see that politics has not been a success to bring international peace to mankind. Religion has not been a success to bring peace on an international scale to mankind. So we have to create a new dimension and see that a seed group of families form the seed humanity to set up an example of the international life on this planet, so that we may allow the planet to exercise its progressive workings upon our bodies, minds and souls. This is what I want to present before you, and if at all such a possibility is there, any single individual is enough to take up, or a group of people can take up. It need not have any establishment or any understanding with many people in the world. A few people who think for themselves may have an understanding and have a place to start with. I think that was the spirit with which the present United Nations has been structured, and the opportunity is given to mankind long ago, but it is for us to prove our fitness in the United Nations, and the opportunity is waiting for us because we have our own imperfections. We should sacrifice our imperfections, and the opportunity waits until we find ourselves better, because the opportunity only wants that we are better and it doesn't want anything for itself. So once again, I make a loud thinking that there should be such a land where people can experiment a United Nations life and an international life for the planetary activity of this earth. Thank you all. Now, in view of our contribution to this thought, I propose a group meditation on an international level upon an idea, a phrase. I propose the idea: international peace and goodwill. And as a symbol of this, let us meditate a beautiful milk white lotus which is making our actions. All those who are working for peace on this planet of Earth.